Greetings travellers, and welcome back to Cheflocked, the series where our character Clarence cooks his way through every World of Warcraft expansion in order, and I cook one recipe in real life each episode, voted by you guys in a community. We're currently knee deep into Wrath of the Lich King after completing 12 recipes last episode and baking a legendary delicious chocolate cake to close things out. Now it's time to head deeper into Northrend and get back to what we do best, cooking our way through Azeroth one recipe at a time. Today's adventure starts in Valiant's Keep, where Clarence and the gang are heading over to help Rollick McReel with a quest he has for us. He wants us to collect 4 pieces of chilled meat, and in exchange, he'll teach us how to make Northern Stew. I do like a good stew, so let's head over the hill to grind out some rhinos to get that chilled meat on the go. Only a few minutes later, and we've got everything Rollick needs. Sure enough, he teaches us the recipe for Northern Stew, which, predictively, also needs chilled meat to complete. We don't have any spare right now, so it looks like we're heading straight back up the hill to finish the job with the rhinos. And there we are, one more lump of meat later. Let's get this pot of stew bubbling away. Lovely. Speaking to Rollick again, he still has some of the recipes left over from last episode that we didn't learn, so let's get these sorted right now. We pick up shovel tough steak, smoked rockfin, smoked salmon, worm delight, which sounds great, and black jelly, which also sounds just as nice. With those all learned, we've got a solid batch of 5 recipes to work through. Let's get them added to our tracker and start from the top. First up, shovel tough steak. A great area to get these flanks is the Howling Fjord, near Westguard Keep, where the shovel toughs roam the fields. On our very first pull, we get 4 pieces of meat, with the 5th coming straight after, which is perfect. Let's head into the inn inside Westguard Keep and cook some of the steaks over an open fire. It looks like our fishing sessions last episode have paid off too, because we already have the rockfin groupers we need for smoked rockfin and the glacial salmon we need for the smoked salmon as well. So let's get these cooked up over an open fire in the courtyard, as I'm sure the patrons wouldn't appreciate us smoking fish indoors. With that triple whammy of recipes done already, we unlock the Northern Gourmet achievement for cooking 15 of the Northrend recipes listed below. I just want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Exit Lag. If you've ever dealt with lag spikes, high ping, or random disconnects while playing games like ability delay, rubber banding in raids, or lag during PvP, Exit Lag can help. It's a connection optimization service that intelligently routes your traffic to game servers for smoother, more stable gameplay. On top of that, Exit Lag has tools built into the app like a network analyzer to help pinpoint connection issues, and a PC boost function that can free up system resources so your games can run better overall. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can use code Firebeard at checkout for 20% off, or just click the affiliate link in my description or pinned comment and the discount will apply automatically. Using this link or code also helps the channel, which I really appreciate. Thanks again to Exit Lag for supporting the video. Now, let's get back to cooking. Some of you have asked me about the achievements, and yes, I do eventually plan on trying to get every cooking achievement with Clarence. I think the best way to do this is to see which ones we naturally earn as we journey through each expansion, and then maybe do a dedicated episode later on where we mop up any remaining achievements we're missing after our full culinary journey is complete. Next up on our growing list of recipes is Worm Delight.
What is that? My god, that stinks, that's gone off.
We already have 1 piece of worm meat, so let's head out and grab the rest. We're off to the Borean Tundra, where the tundra crawlers, massive worms, slither around outside of the fort walls. They're huge, so they're hard to miss, but it looks like the spawns are pretty few and far between with these guys, so let's glide around on our glorious mount to see what we can spot from the sky. And there we are. After lapping the area more times than I'd like to admit, we finally managed to grab all of the worm meat we need to cook up a decent batch of Worm Delight. Let's head up onto the safety of the fort walls and get these cooked up. Not bad at all. It looks like we've got another fishing trip on our hands next, because we need 1 more Borean Man of War to cook up some black jelly, so let's get that done. Let's head to the coast over here to try and fish one up. They're apparently meant to be catchable anywhere along this shoreline.
So that was a fucking lie.
After a solid hour of fishing in this area though, we basically catch everything under the sea apart from the jellyfish, which is typical. Let's head back over to the docks in Valiant's Keep and try our luck there instead, because that's where we accidentally caught some last episode. And there we are. Finally. I think we need to stick to this exact spot in future if we ever need these bad boys again. let's head straight into the tavern to get our black jelly cooked up. This recipe leaves me a little nervous, I must say. When I hear black jelly, I think of something like blackcurrant jelly, or jello as you guys over the pond call it. Then I remember it's made out of jellyfish and instantly don't want to try it anymore. With our list of recipes from WOTLK now completed, it looks like all the remaining cooking recipes in Wrath, and even the ones in Cataclysm, are locked behind Epicurean awards. These can only be earned by completing daily cooking quests. Thankfully, I've done a few of these between episodes already, so we've got a small stash to get us started. Not a lot, but a decent start. Let's head over to Stormwind and knock out another daily cooking quest to earn another one. I found out after I recorded this footage though, that the dailies in Dalaran are better, as there's a chance to earn 2 awards instead of 1 per quest, and there's also a chance to get more from the fishing daily quest in Dalaran as well, where the reward bag you get can also contain an award at a small chance. So at the moment, the best case scenario overall is to get 2 from the Dalaran cooking quest and potentially 1 from the Dalaran fishing daily. So if we're lucky, we can get up to 3 per day, which is enough to buy just 1 recipe outright. Not bad at all, but 1 recipe per day long term isn't the best. Something that's quite silly though, after Blizzard added the warband system, they still didn't make it possible to mail Epicurean awards between characters like you can do with other currencies, like Time Warp badges for example. So it's not like I can log onto all my alts, grind these out each day, and just send them over. Don't worry though lads and lasses, I've been tweeting at the official Warcraft account on X every day for a few days now. I'm sure they'll get the message eventually. We're now in Dalaran and we've just collected the ingredients needed to complete today's cooking daily. Let's head over to the Violet Hold and do some fishing for the fishing daily as well, then hand in everything we need to squeeze out another Epicurean award. We turn in a fishing quest and open up the bag of fishing treasures and no extra award this time, unlucky. Oh well, let's go hand in our daily cooking quest and get our guaranteed 2 awards. Oh, we did get a small spice bag from the quest as well, and we open it and we do get another award from that, so we got 3 from that quest alone. Well, at least that makes up for it nicely for today's quests. Let's head over to Hero's Welcome Inn and see what recipes we can buy. We're currently sitting at 13 Epicurean awards, which means we can only afford 3, maybe even 4 recipes right now. Let's see what's in store for us. So, we're going for the Firecracker Salmon, which sounds amazing, Spiced Worm Burger, which does not sound amazing, Warg Tartar, which sounds okay, and finally a Spicy Fried Herring, which also sounds pretty good. As Clarence sits in the tavern reading over his new recipes though, he realises there's just one small problem. We also need northern spices to cook any of these recipes, and we've only got 1 Epicurean award left, so he nips back over to the cooking trainer and spends his final award on 10 northern spices. Not the most exciting purchase, but a very necessary one. With our new batch of recipes learned though, let's head back over to Grizzly Hills just like last episode to fish up some more herring. We already have 1 in our bags, so we'll only need 4 more to make it an even 5. Oh, and by the way, what do you think of Clarence's new look? I finally managed to get some gear that can be transmogged properly, so at least he's starting to look a bit more of the part now. We'll have to save up 100 Epicurean awards in the future so we can finally get ourselves a proper chef's hat too. Then the transformation will truly be complete. After a short but sweet fishing session, next up on the shopping list is Warg Haunches. As we're already in Grizzly Hills, let's head over to a different part of the forest and hunt some of these guys down. And there we are. 5 hearty haunches of warg meat, ready for our next cooking session. Let's head over to our usual worm meat spot in the cave and take some of these guys out. And as usual in here, this doesn't take long at all, as we've got 5 more pieces of worm meat in no time. Thankfully, we have some glacial salmon from our previous fishing sessions, so we don't need to gather these again. With all of the ingredients finally gathered though, let's set up a little fire right here in the cave and get all 4 of these bad boys cooked up. What a feast. We do need to be mindful of how many of each recipe we cook right now though, as each one requires 1 northern spice, which eats directly into our Epicurean awards.
The next morning.
Another day, another Dalaran daily. Here, we're back at the inn, and we've got our next quest. Today, it's mushroom-infused meatloaf. We need to head down into the sewers beneath Dalaran to pick these mushrooms first. This is another American dish I've always wanted to try, because it's so iconic. Hello my American cousins in the comments. I know a lot of you guys are American in my audience, so do you like meatloaf? Is it something you eat often, or does it vary from state to state? Let me know. Anyway, meatloaf made and handed in, we've got our Epicurean awards, and we even get a bonus one from our goodie bag. You'll love to see it.
The next morning. morning.
It's bright and early the next day, so let's fish for another dismembered arm near the prison, steal a jug of wine and hand this one in. There we are, and no Epicurean award today. Unlucky. Well, now we need to head back out and pick on some of our rhino friends again, because we need some chilled meat for the northern stew. We need to make 4 portions here, so 4 pieces of meat will do. And there we go, let's hand it in, and as we turn the quest in, we hit level 57. We get the usual Epicurean awards for completing the quest, as well as a nice bonus one from our spice bag. That puts us at 4 awards altogether, so let's buy the mighty rhino dogs recipe and make them straight away right here in the tavern kitchen, since we already have all the ingredients we need. And there we go, let's have a glance at Clarence's recipe book for this episode. That's 4 full pages cleared for Northrend already. Nice. Well, with that over and done with, it's time to leave Clarence and the gang to relax in the inn while we talk about what we'll be cooking IRL this episode. This time, we've got a very meaty selection between northern stew, firecracker salmon, and mighty rhino dogs. And wow, you guys really do like to keep me on my toes, don't you? This might be the closest we ever come to a tie in the entire series. Just look at these results. At the time of recording, northern stew sits on 35% of the vote, with mighty rhino dogs in close second at 34%. Both recipes were on 34% for a good day before northern stew just pulled ahead. Thank you to everyone who voted. Remember to keep an eye on the community tab for next episode's recipe to make sure you have your say on what I cook in the next episode. Well, we all know what comes next, folks. Now that we have the poll results, let's get into the kitchen to make this northern stew. Right then, here we are in my IRL kitchen. These are the ingredients we need for today's northern stew. We've got diced beef, carrots, swede, onion, cabbage, garlic, potatoes, rosemary, thyme, smoked paprika, bay leaves, and our beef stock cubes. This recipe isn't in the World of Warcraft cookbook, so I'm making this one up myself. Because it comes from Northrend, and specifically from the Lion's Keep in our case, I wanted this to be a really hearty stew. Plenty of vegetables to bulk it out, with herbs and spices thrown in for flavour. I picture this one being either made in a local inn, or by soldiers cooking it around a campfire in the barracks courtyard. Something hot and filling, the kind of meal you'd make to keep the cold of Northrend well and truly at bay. First things first, let's get all of our vegetables prepped. Let's start with the potatoes and work our way through each vegetable from there. There's no need to be too precise with this, chunky vegetables won't be an issue at all, since we'll be slow cooking everything with the meat and it'll all soften up nicely over time. Next up, let's chop the carrots. Then the cabbage, swede, onions and garlic. Once all of the vegetables are prepped, we'll throw them into a bowl and set them to one side, out of the way for now. Then, we get our trusty large pot on the stove over a medium heat, add a splash of oil, and throw in the beef to start browning it off. After a few minutes, once the meat has some colour, we add the rosemary, thyme and smoked paprika, giving everything a good stir so the beef is nicely coated in the herbs and spices. Once the beef has cooked a little longer, we can add in all of our vegetables, followed by the stock, made with a single beef stock cube and some water. We don't need to worry too much about the beef being fully cooked at this stage, as it'll continue to cook slowly once we transfer the pot into the oven later on. With all the ingredients fully combined, we leave the stew to simmer on the hob for around 30 minutes. Just to let it reduce slightly and for the flavours to start coming together. Once that's done, I add some bay leaves into the pot and move the pot into the oven, turning the oven onto a low heat for around 3 to 4 hours. This slow cook will finish the beef off properly and make sure it's fall apart tender by the time we're done.
4 hours later.
Right then, it's been about 4 hours. Let's take the pot out of the oven and have a look at our stew. And wow, I must say this does smell incredible. Let's set up the table and get this bad boy served up. And there we are, a hot bowl of fresh northern stew. I bet the soldiers in Valiant's Keep wouldn't mind a hearty bowl of this after a long shift on guard duty, and it does taste great. The vegetables and meat practically melt in your mouth thanks to a low and slow cooking in the oven. It really hits different on a cold winter's day. Well, there we have it folks, that's it for this episode of Cheflocked. Make sure you check out Alan Draws over on X, who absolutely smashed it as usual with the thumbnail. And of course, a huge shout out to my RuneSmith channel members, Possum Breath, Spectre95, 424 and Doombox. If you want a shout out at the end of each video, along with some cool profile badges and custom emotes, hit the join button next to my name for some more information. A big thank you as well to Exit Lag for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in checking them out, you can find the link in my description or the pinned comment. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next one.